In the coming few minutes, we will discuss the significance of each of these sections one by one. These sections are named Initializer, Control and Update section. The first section is called the Initializer section. Whatever you put in this section will be executed exactly once before the beginning of the repeated execution of the loop body. Because of this reason, this section usually contains statements which declare, define and initialize variables to be used during the execution of the for loop. Let us go through a few examples. In this example, the expression appearing in the initializer section declares a variable I and initializes it to a value of 5. And in this example, the initializer expression does not declare any new variable, rather it simply initializes j, which was declared earlier, to a value of 10. One or more than one variables can be declared and initialized in this section. The following example demonstrates the case. If you do not need to declare or initialize loop variables, you can leave this section as blank. This section may also contain calls to function which returns nothing. For example, this code snippet makes a call to a function dummy which returns void. This example is legal and will compile and execute smoothly. Dummy will be called once before the execution of the main body of the loop begins. This section may also contain any valid expression involving assignment expressions. Expressions and how they are evaluated have already been covered in an earlier video. You are advised to go through the video before moving on. Remember, whatever you put in this section will be run exactly once before the main loop body start executing. We will discuss a few questions by the end of this video to help you understand this looping construct better. We have discussed the significance and usage of the first section, and we are all set to move on to the second section, which is between the pair of semicolons. The second section is known as the control section. Because this section controls the number of repetitions the for loop is expected to undergo. We have learned that the stuff you put in the first section is executed only once before the beginning of the execution of the main body of the for loop. Contrary to this, whatever you put in the second section will be executed before every run of the main body of the for loop. This section usually contains valid expressions. The expressions in this section is evaluated before the beginning of each cycle of execution of the for loop. The evaluated outcome of the expression decides whether to continue the loop or to terminate it. If the evaluated value of the expression is any non-zero value, it will be treated as true and the loop continues. Whereas, if the value turns out to be 0, whether integer or floating point, it will be treated as false and the loop terminates. The loop also terminates if the expression evaluates to a null character or a null pointer, which are also considered as false. Let us see some examples of expressions which may appear in this section. This expression makes use of a relational operator which compares the left-hand operand with the right-hand operand and returns 0 or 1. Based upon the value of var1 and var2, the operator will return some value, and based upon the returned value, the loop may continue or get terminated. For details of the functioning of these operators, please see the video on operators. The fourth expression is just a call to a function named fun. As mentioned earlier, the evaluated value of this expression will decide the continuation of the loop. If the function returns a non-zero value, it will be interpreted as true and the loop will continue, and if it returns 0, it will interpret it as false and the loop terminates. The third expression again makes use of a relational operator but also includes to call to a function named fun. Depending upon the value of var and the value returned by fun, relational less than operator will return either 0 or 1, and based upon that value the loop may continue or will terminate. These are just few sample expressions you will come across many interesting examples in our next video which deals with some tricky problems on the looping construct. This section may also be left blank, which will be treated as true. Since the evaluated outcome of this section decide whether to continue the loop or not, putting a blank in this section makes the loop go indefinitely. Unlike the initializer section, which may contain calls to void return type function, this section cannot contain calls to functions with void return type because void can neither be interpreted as true nor as false. This example having a call to a dummy as a control expression will not compile because dummy returns void. You should carefully note that the expression appearing in this section is evaluated before the beginning of each cycle of execution of the for loop. Let us move on to the third and the last section. The third section is called the update section. Like the control section, the statements you put in here will be executed once for each cycle of the loop execution. But there is a minor difference. The statements in the control section as well as in the update section both are executed once for each cycle of the loop execution. But the former is executed before the beginning of the cycle and the later is executed after the cycle. We will understand this better when we will discuss the flow of execution of the for loop. We have seen that the initializer section is used to create and initialize variables that may be used during the loop execution. The third section most commonly contains expressions which will update the values of such variables based upon some logic. The initializer section of this code sample declares a loop variable I and initializes it with 2. The expression in the update section increment the value of I by 5. This section can contain multiple expressions separated by comma. In this example, the initializer section declares two variables I and j and initializes them with 2 and 20 respectively. The update section increments I by 5, j by 1 and decrements k by 1. Note that k was not declared in the initializer section, rather it was declared before the loop. This example suggests that you can put any valid expression in this section and it will be executed as per the protocol. Unlike the initializer section, which can be used to declare variables, this action cannot be used to declare new variables. This sample code given will not compile because the expression mentioned in the update section tries to declare a new variable which is illegal. Like the initializer and control section, this section can also be left blank and it may also contain calls to functions which returns void. We have discussed in detail the structure of a for loop. Following is a summarized takeaways from this discussion. All three sections can be left blank. Leaving the control section blank makes the loop go for eternity, whereas leaving the other two sections has no effect on the loop. The control section cannot contain calls to functions which returns void, whereas such calls are allowed in other two sections. All three sections expect valid expressions. The initializer sections can have declaration statements as well, which are considered illegal in other two sections. The update section can have multiple statements separated by commas, something which is not allowed by the other two sections.